Right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Saman. I'm the short range planning manager here at Cincinnati Metro. I'm here with my colleague Max Linder, and we're going to be going through the proposed service changes for August of this year. As always, we accept feedback on our proposed changes, either through our route comments at go-metro.com email address by completing a comment form on our website. Please do get in all feedback by midnight on May 11th to be included in the final decision making, as well as comments that are sent to our board. Okay. Next slide, please. So this is kind of in the middle of the pack of our meetings. We do have two more, one tonight in North Avondale and one next week in Winton Hills. Right. So there are changes to our local service as well as our express service. For our local service, our proposal for Route 11, which is our Madison Road local route, is to remove the overnight service from about 1:30 a.m. to about 4:15 a.m. This is due to very low ridership between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. on this route. And then we are proposing for Route 19, which is our Colerain and Mount Airy route, local route, to add overnight service. Currently, the route runs until about 12:50 a.m. and starts back up around 5. So it'll start running overnight, but just between downtown and Mount Airy. Route 27, when we get to the slide that has the maps, this will be a little clearer, but essentially we are extending the route from the Northside Transit Center up Spring Grove to the Kennard Kroger, and then running up Estee Avenue to North Bend to end there. And for Route 46, which is our Mount Auburn, Corryville, Avondale, and Winton Hills route, the proposal is to realign this route to be as straight as it can possibly be to improve travel times for folks along the route, and by realigning it through Winton Terrace to follow the same direction that Route 16 follows in that neighborhood. And when we get to that map, it'll be more clear. And Max will take the next slide.
We're continuing to create some local service changes. We're introducing a new route, the 47. This is a new crosstown route that will run from Casey Apartments to Oakley Transit Center via Spring Grove, Mitchell, Dana Avenue. And it's actually going to duplicate the eastern piece of the Route 51 that runs east of Uptown area, Xavier University to Oakley Transit Center. And along with that change, the Route 51, we're removing the eastern alignment. It's still going to touch Reading, and it's still going to serve the Walnut Hills, Evanston Academy area schools. And the new end of line will be the Cincinnati Zoo layover on Vine Street. We're also introducing the new Route 15, which will run from Northside Transit Center to Oakley Transit Center via St. Bernard and Norwood. And that's proposed to be a fairly quick route at about approximately 30-minute travel time from end to end.
We have some small express changes, a relatively small express changes plan. We're proposing to add a new commuter express route named the Route 18 that will run on Colerain Avenue during peak times. This will basically run the same stops as the Route 19 does in Colerain through Mount Airy down the hill. And once it gets to West Fork and Colerain right before I-74, the route will then get on the highway and go downtown. So that'll be a pretty substantial time savings for folks coming from the Colerain corridor heading downtown during peak time. And it'll help reduce overcrowding on the current 19 during peak time, particularly in the uptown area. Route 74X, so that is an existing express route. It currently has two branches, the Joseph branch and the Banning branch. The Banning branch is proposed to go away. The trips that are on the Banning branch will still remain. They will become part of the Joseph branch. And the portions of the Banning branch that are lost from the 74X will now be covered by the new Route 18. So just avoiding a duplication of service on that stretch.
Now we're going to get into more details of the local service changes. So starting with Route 27, This map here on the left shows the alignment changes. So in black, that is indicating that there's no change. Green is showing a new change in alignment, and red is showing a remove change. So we're removing a portion of the 27 that goes from the Casey Apartments down Kirby. That's going to be covered by the new Route 41, or sorry, 47. And we're extending the route up Spring Grove and up Estee Avenue. So now the residents and the riders along this route have access to a one-seat ride grocery store. It's now serving the Kennard Kroger. So more food accessibility is great along this route. And the lower price sale CPS trips will remain. Saturday and Sunday start times are from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m.
So Route 46 is a route that serves a lot of our central neighborhoods. It's also our curviest route in that it likes to wind through the city to hit a bit of everything quite slowly. So the proposal is that the route, when it is in Avondale on Burnett, currently it loops through Avondale, heading on Erkenbrecker to Dury to Forest Avenue, and then heads up Reading Road, and then heads west on Mitchell to get to Spring Grove. The proposal is that it would no longer do that windy alignment. That alignment would be covered by the new Route 47. The 46 would instead, from Burnett, use Forest Avenue to get to Vine Street, and then use that to get to Mitchell to Spring Grove. In Winton Hills and Spring Grove Village, the route currently does a kind of a loop that goes through on Spring Grove Village to Epworth to Winton Road, across Dutch Colony, down Win Estee, finally to go back up Estee. It does that to loop through and get to the Estee Avenue end of line. As the 27 will now be serving that longer part of Estee Avenue to North Bend, the 46 will instead run into Winton Hills just from Estee and then up Win Estee and turn around and come back in. So currently this route runs with the 16 in Winton Hills. The 16 inbound stops are the 46 outbounds and vice versa. So this will change that so that both routes will be running in the same direction, inbound and outbound, to reduce confusion.
Route 47. So this route is introduced as a crosstown route connecting Northside Transit Center and Oakley Transit Center. It's going to be running from that removed portion of the 27, the Casey Apartments. It's going to cover Kirby, Chase, Spring Grove, Mitchell, Dana. So it's on Dana that's following that existing, what is currently being, that currently exists with the 51, but will be removed. So it's removing, I mean, it's maintaining service in that area, and it's still, there's still a connection to Reading as well. So this is a pretty fast route, and it's covering the areas that are removed. It's a 30-minute frequency, 60-minute weekend frequency, and the span of operation is 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. every day, so it runs fairly late. And yeah,
Route 51. So the proposal for this route is to lop off the eastern portion of the route east of Reading Road for now. The Route 47 is proposed to cover that alignment through Oakley, Hyde Park, Norwood, and the northern part of Evanston. This route would instead, once it gets to Burnett, hook over to Reading Road, hit the intersection of Reading and Forest, where a lot of connections can take place, and then head over to our old zoo layover bus stop on Vine Street at Erkenbrecker. The Route 51 will still run the same frequency, and it will still run 24 hours on its segment, and everything to the west of Uptown remains unchanged. Now, there are certain trips on this route, 2 or 3 a day, that go to Walnut Hills High School, as well as Evanston Academy and the Academy of World Languages, all of which are in Evanston. Those trips will still run to those schools. If you have a student who is taking this route to those schools, they will still take this route, same trip, same time. But the rest of the trips will end in Uptown.
Introducing a new route, 53. This goes St. Bernard, Norwood, starting at Northside Transit Center, covers Spring Grove Avenue, Mitchell, Vine, Ross, Tennessee, Sherman, Robertson, and Madison. It's hitting some new area in Norwood, specifically around like the Factory 52. And this area has a high propensity for transit ridership. So we're really hoping to see this route pick up a lot of riders. It runs from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day, and it's an approximately 30-minute travel time end to end. So that's a pretty fast travel time, getting people from Northside Transit Center to Oakley Transit Center in 30 minutes. Here's an image of Factory 52. If you're not familiar, it's like a entertainment housing district. We're really moving towards transit-oriented development.
Now we'll go over our changes to the 18 and 74X. So the Route 18 is pretty simple. It starts up at the Stone Creek Meyer Park and Ride near I-275 and Coleraine. It will then just run down Coleraine Avenue, utilizing the same bus stops as the Route 19 does. And when it gets to the bottom of the hill at I-74, it will hop on the highway and head downtown. That should cut a downtown traveler's commute by anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, depending on traffic. It'll be inbound in the morning, outbound in the afternoon. First trip would get downtown a little bit before 6 a.m. First trip would leave downtown around 3 p.m.
Route 74X, we're removing the Banning alignment and we're moving to Poole. Sorry, Joseph. We weren't seeing much ridership on the removed alignment, so we're seeing more transit propensity on that Joseph segment. So that's going to kind of coincide with the 18X corridor as well, or the 18. So.
As part of our obligations under the Civil Rights Act, we perform what's called a Title VI analysis for all of our service changes. And basically what that means is we have to measure how many service hours and service miles of change we are doing in each census tract. Tracts that are high low-income population or high non-white population, if there is a disproportionate change in those tracks, we must do a further analysis and come up with solutions to ensure that those communities are not harmed more so or than other areas. In this case, our changes are either rearranging existing routes or adding new routes. After doing the analysis, there was no finding of disproportionate or disparate impact for this service change. So thanks for listening. We do hope to get feedback from you all on these changes.